What would we do if the world ended? That question may be a bit blunt, and may sound a bit stupid to some people. But what would we actually do? It's not too hard to imagine, with the rising sea levels, more plastic in the ocean. Would we go into panic? Taking to the streets like a swarm of bees or ravaging monkeys? Would we just wait for it to happen? No panic involved? Or most likely, would we be somewhere in between? If the whole world somewhat knew the world would end in a week, due to a meteor strike, or a war, or something completely arbitrary, that was beyond our control, we would hopefully fall somewhere in between that scale of doing nothing and panicking so much just about others in danger. The anime Zom 100 puts a spin on this. A guy working a mind-numbing job, wanting to have free time, wanting to be free, wanting to be anywhere else but there. In a sense, we are all kind of like him. Everyone has experienced this. If you haven't, then lucky you. As you probably guessed by the title, a zombie apocalypse happens. And the first thing that comes through the guy's mind was he has to go to work in the morning. A feeling which we all share to some extent. Then he realised he didn't have to, because, you know, the world was ending. Most people would be annoyed. Working at a brain-dead company, a company that doesn't even care about you, and now you can't even enjoy the things you wanted to do in life. Heck, I was annoyed. Living my whole life without ever doing what I wanted. Without following my dreams. Zom 100 takes this idea and just rolls with it. While everyone else is making lists on how to survive, he's making a list on things to do before he dies. I mean, what? And why? Because he would rather become a zombie than not follow his dreams. I don't know why, but I somehow relate to this. When we were kids, I bet we all had dreams. Visions of what we want to be when we were older. But ironically, when we get older, those dreams fade. Some of us lose touch with that kiddish self of ours. And if you're unlucky, you may forget. You may never remember that side of you. But deep down, we all want to be kids again. When a zombie apocalypse happens, I would like to imagine I would do that. Not care about the world ending, grabbing beer while zombies are chasing you. But that is anime. In reality, I'd probably live life normally. Well, as normal as I can. If we can see the end, why bother panicking if we can't change it? And that is the principle of On the Beach. On the Beach is a book. All the characters seem to know the world will end. But that doesn't cause mass panic or hysteria like we imagine. Instead, it was quite boring. Characters seem to live their life somewhat normally. Nothing interesting happens, and by the end, everyone dies. It's kind of strange. You would think that mass panic will take place, but in the end it doesn't really matter. The author of On the Beach wrote the book while a war was happening. To see where the inspiration came from isn't hard. But simultaneously, that makes this the most plausible description of what might happen. The author was probably living their life in fear. knowing that the world might end any day. A very different philosophy is at play here. One has the attitude of, the world will end, I can do what I want, while the other has the attitude of, the world will end, why care? If the world ends, our brains can't really comprehend it. If in a week I told you that the world will end because of some meteor, that will be very hard to comprehend. It's like you almost can't believe it, or more likely, choose not to. Sometimes it may be better to live in ignorance and know the truth. At least you may be happier. I don't think there is a right way to act, is there? But I do believe the latter option is better. Who'd want to be depressed when they die? Have a party, do what you want, meet new people, have the best day of your life, before it inevitably goes away. It seems like every day a new problem emerges, and we as humans are digging our own graves. The question isn't if the world will end, but when. When will the pollution be too high that the earth becomes uninhabitable? When will global warming take us over the edge? When will the plastic we love using so much come back to kill us? It has come to the point where if there is one problem that magically gets solved, another one is right around the corner.
We're gonna be okay. I love you.
Oh my God!
Hold on!
In Fallout 4, the world ends by nukes. I'm not spoiling the game, this happens within the first few minutes of playing. But that is not the complete story. There is a world after the war. A world after the nukes. When you go outside for the first time, you're made to believe that you are the only human. But you aren't. There are others. No one there knows about modern technology but you. No one there knows life before the nukes but you. Because you were cryogenically frozen and only you survived. You know, video game stuff. You are the only person who knows about the world before the nukes. And that puts you, as a player, in a unique spot. This new world has no phones or even laptops, or even internet, just a radio. The world went backwards. You're not seeing how happy people were without modern technology, and it really makes you think if we need it. Before the nukes, you had a robot assistant, a person that loves you, everything you wanted. You were happy. After the nukes, you were helping everyone, saving people, rebuilding the world. Surely that would also make you somewhat happy. Fallout 4 is one of those games that make you think, how did these people survive? How did the parents survive? What happened after the bomb was dropped? But those questions don't really matter. What matters is what we can do now. And there is still hope for humanity. Time and time again we see hope come from the most unlikely of places. When the US dropped the nukes in World War II, it was bad. It seemed like Japan would never recover, but they did. And it's all better now. In fact, you go to Hiroshima, you won't even know and realise it's been nuked. In 1960, the big earthquake happened in Chile. A whopping 9.5 magnitude. Everything was destroyed. Now you wouldn't even know it happened. Every time there is a war, the world ends. And it does momentarily, before it gets rebuilt. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more examples of hope being bloomed from hopelessness. In Fallout, although there is hope, the new world is far from perfect. There are raiders everywhere, monsters roam the streets, and radiation is impossible to avoid. Is this what we leave the future generations with? If you don't make mistakes, you will never learn. Maybe the same can be true about the world. I would like to be optimistic and say if the world did reset, due to aliens or nuclear warfare or some other event, or if we inhabit an Earth 2.0, we would not as a species make the same mistakes again. We could learn of the previous generation's mistakes through books, videos, and knowledge, and hopefully create a better world, or at least a better future. In the game Outer Wilds, the world will end. You can't prevent it. You live in this loop where every time the world ends or you die, you restart the loop. You can try to tell everyone, you can try to warn them. They either knew or really didn't care that much. And that puts me at ease. You don't have to warn everyone. You don't need to care about what will happen to them, or even you. You just need to make most of what you have. Enjoy the moments you have before it inevitably goes away. The world may end in 1,000,000 years or so when the sun explodes, but that doesn't seem realistic. It seems like the world will end a lot sooner than that. We as a species are digging our own grave every day. We are creating our own mass extinction event, with very little signs of slowing down. In Outer Wilds you can't save anyone. The sun will explode and you can do nothing about it. Everyone will die, and not even their memories will live on. But that's the beauty in it. Outer Wilds tells you nothing. Nothing about the sun exploding, nothing about the planets, nothing about the ancient civilization that came before you. You have to figure it out all by your own. There is something else truly liberating about knowing that the world will end. And that is, you are free. In Fallout 4 you are free from your job, your work, your responsibilities. In Outer Wilds, knowing that the world will end, you will act more carelessly, because you will take more risks. In Zone 100, the protagonist was free as soon as the world ended. But the world doesn't have to end for you to be free. Just doing something you enjoy can be freeing enough. The world may not end in our generation, but it's not hard to imagine it could. It seems like we're at the point of no return, and every time we try to fix something, it's like a temporary fix to a much larger problem. It's like trying to tape up a broken mirror. Tell me, how is banning plastic straws going to save the world? Should we not be focusing on the bigger issues instead of the smaller ones? And all that talk about hope being breathed from hopelessness is useless if we don't come together to tackle this problem. Scientists warned us, and companies didn't listen because they will lose money. Losing money is somehow more important than a better Earth, somehow. And it seems to be too late. Most companies change because they have to, not want to. Before us were dinosaurs. I wonder what is after. I wonder if the creatures after us will be more intelligent. The world may not end in our generation, but it could easily. If all out nuclear warfare broke out, no one would be safe. The world could end at any moment without warning. And if it does tomorrow or next week, will you be okay with that? Or will you be annoyed that all your ideas, all your dreams, will be just that? Dreams. You won't be remembered after a generation or two. So would doing things you really want hurt? But heck, if the world ended and everything disappeared, if everything resets, would it even matter? Would you even care? There is a quote I like. Ready? You have two lives. The second one begins when you realize you only have one. Many people want to do something in this world before they die. But due to others, and mainly ourselves, we barely act upon it. And sometimes when we do, it usually is too late. Many people die without doing what they want. And I don't want to be on that list. Most of us are worried about the future, including me. And the people who aren't are looking back on the past and better times, what we could have done. So if the world was going to end, what would you do? How would you feel? Would you have any regrets? This is the part of the video where I say how this topic affected me. Like any good video essay would. How did a topic about nuclear warfare, zombies, and the world ending affect me? It wasn't hard. When faced with my own mortality, I felt relieved. Nothing I do will matter, will ever matter, so I can do what I want. I felt free. This channel will probably not have been made otherwise. If my videos can impact the life of one person, that is enough reason for me to keep creating videos. If we all can keep doing something we enjoy, that is enough reason for us to not give up, for us to still go on. Revisiting Zom 100, I've realised most people really live their life like zombies, even before the apocalypse. Some of us in the real world still live a life like zombies. I lived like a zombie. But that can change. The world doesn't have to end for you to be free, does it? I mean, I would want a zombie apocalypse to happen as much as the next guy. But I hope I won't need it to actually be free. Or feel happy. Some of us in the real world still live our life like zombies. But that can change. There is still hope. There is still time. Time to save the world. Time to change. Time to live life with no regrets. So, what will you do?